I'm not sure what to do. I'll try to keep it short and simple. 10 years ago, I was an idiot and had an affair with a coworker. My wife found out and we almost got a divorce over it. We went to therapy and I immediately severed contact with said coworker, left the company, and got another job. It was a hard and painful road, but our marriage is now wonderful and we are honestly truly happy. I know my past affair still gives my wife some pain, but she's truly forgiven me and says she's very happy she decided to stay married to me and not get a divorce. We have 2 children, and they never knew about the affair. The only people who ever found out were both of our parents and a couple of very close friends. Fast forward to today, and my son, from a previous relationship, my wife's stepson, and his wife are pregnant with their first child. It's a girl, and I was so happy. Yes, I was. Today, they told me what they will be naming their baby daughter. It's the same name my affair partner had. My wife doesn't know because I haven't told her, but I'm crushed. I'm so afraid that this will cause my wife unnecessary pain. I'm scared this will cause my wife to resent me again. I'm scared she won't love the baby, or she will treat our granddaughter badly because of the name she has, or at the very least, will love her less. Is there any way I can somehow convince my son and his wife to not use this name for their baby? How do I break this news to my wife? Is there any other way to cope and work through this? I'm going to be a voice of dissent here and say that I think that it depends on whether or not you think that your son would A, want to know, and B, whether he would change his mind if he did know. If you think that those 2 things are true, then yes, I would definitely tell them. I would hate to name a child something and then find out later that I was causing my parents pain by doing so. Plus, I just simply wouldn't want a name associated with something like that for my child. More importantly, however, you can't force your son to do anything, so get that out of your mind right now. In the end, it's up to him and his wife, not you. My significant other and I have been together for 3.5 years. We live together, and I have a 1-year-old who is a destructive maniac at the moment. This is important. Significant other has a female friend. Let's call her Marla. They dated for a while and then decided they were better as friends. Fine. I didn't meet Marla until after I had baby. I was expecting her to be a normal person, but it actually turns out that she's not. We went to a restaurant with 3 of their other friends, 2 men and another woman. Everyone else talked to me, but she ignored me the whole night. Since then, every time I see her, she pretty much ignores me completely. She says hi, but then nothing else. If I try to start a conversation with her, she shuts it down. I'm a shy person, and I am trying so hard, which is hard for me, but I feel like she really doesn't like me at all. I've said as much, but my boyfriend says I'm just paranoid. Once, he got mad and accused me of telling him not to talk to her anymore, but I've never said any such thing. Just that she made me uncomfortable. Then, a few months ago, something happened that I did not like. My significant other is a person who is very strict about his time. If I ask him to drive me somewhere, he won't unless he is already going to drive somewhere. I couldn't even get him to drive me to the mall on my birthday. Marla asked if he could help her on a project, and to my surprise, he said yes. Helping required him to take a 16-hour certification course and then spend another entire day helping on the actual project. It hurt me that he would go out of his way for her like that, because it messed with his whole schedule. And he can't even drive me somewhere once in a while, or ever really go out of his way for me at all. He usually won't do anything that doesn't benefit him. So how did helping her out benefit him? I know that this isn't just a Marla problem. It's a significant other problem as well. So now for what happened today. Boyfriend left all the Christmas gifts he bought on the bench in the living room. I know he got Marla a gift because he told me he did. That's fine, because he always does. I also know he is finished with his shopping. Today, I was playing in the living room with Maniac Toddler, and he ran into the gifts and knocked them from the bench before I could swoop in and stop him. The gifts went flying and tumbled all over the floor. A little jewelry box came out of one bag, and after bouncing around, it opened up. So obviously I saw what was inside. It was a pair of earrings. Nice. Must be my Christmas gift. As I was cleaning up, I noticed another little jewelry box. All the other presents were only appropriate for men or children, so this one must be Marla's. The first thing I thought was, he bought her jewelry too? So I opened it. Another, but different set of earrings. I sat on it for a while and decided it made me uncomfortable. I don't like him buying her jewelry, and I don't like that he got us basically the same gift. I don't care if it sounds petty. I want to be more important than her, not on the same level. I keep imagining going over to her house on Christmas and everyone watching her opening the gift and feeling so embarrassed. Am I silly for being uncomfortable, jealous? Should I keep trying to become friends with Marla, or should I give up? How do I address the gift, if at all? I feel like I can't bring it up since I saw it by accident. Your man inconveniences himself for her, but not you. He kept someone he was intimate with in his life, which is fine, but who doesn't really acknowledge you, which is not fine. He buys both of you similar jewelry, and you're worried about looking petty? This is a snapshot of your 3+ year relationship, and I can only judge on this small sliver. I'm not a jealous person, kinda laid back, don't give up ducks type of woman, but I'd have a serious problem with this. You are right, you are on the same level with this other girl. I wouldn't sit on this, because it'll only breed resentment. You should have a discussion about the place this woman has in his life, and where in his mind does she sit in his life. If that makes sense. You don't buy a friend, whom you've been intimate with, and your fiancé, girlfriend, wife, the same type of gift. Wholly inappropriate. Update. So I may have jumped the gun a little bit for my last post. The earrings are indeed for Marla, so there's no question of them actually being a gift for someone else. But the other earrings are not for me, and didn't get me something that is any type of jewelry at all. Which is okay, I don't need any more. They are for Marla's kid sister. She's about 8. I'm not sure if that's actually better. Our talk did not go so well. The topic actually came up very organically. Marla and my boyfriend have another friend, Glenn. Glenn texted my boyfriend asking what he got Marla and what he thinks he, Glenn, should get her. Boyfriend told me this, so I asked him what he got Marla. His response was, a diamond ring, what do you care? I said I was just curious since we were literally having a conversation about it right then. He tried to deflect the question again, and I got annoyed, and then he finally told me he got her earrings. I expressed that I didn't feel this was the best choice of gift. He laughed and said that was silly and was I joking. I assured him it was not a joke, and said that it doesn't seem an appropriate gift for someone he used to date. He told me they didn't used to date, they just hung out. What the duck? This means they were duck buddies, right? Then he got mad and said he can buy whatever he wants for whomever he wants. I left the room for a little while. When I returned, he was very apologetic. He hugged me and said he was sorry I was so upset. I got angry again because it was offering nothing in the way of a solution. He told me he also got earrings for her kid sister, and that he bought them because they were on sale. He said he spent more money on my gift, so it didn't matter. I told him I didn't care about the money, only the symbolism. He said the gift doesn't matter so long as it's cheap. I asked if it would be okay if he got her lingerie if it was on sale. He told me he'd never purchase lingerie for anyone. I don't think he got my point. Then he tried to switch tactics and say she was like family to him and it's okay to buy jewelry for family. I brought up that I don't think she likes me, and he told me I was paranoid again. He said she always asks him about me. I said that it doesn't translate at all, and she won't even have a conversation with me. He said that's just the kind of person she is, and reminded me that the last time I was at her house, she asked me if I wanted coffee. This was all she said to me, other than hi, bye, and oh. He said she was a very nice person and that she was trying so hard to be my friend because she added me on Facebook. I know that this can't be just the kind of person she is, because she has tons of friends. He ended the conversation by saying that this is just my anxiety acting up. I do have anxiety, but it's health anxiety, so I can't see how this could be related, and giving me a hug. He completely succeeded in making me feel uneasy and crazy. I still feel like I'm probably actually crazy. Edit. He brought up that he wouldn't be with her anyways because of her age. I asked, what happens when I am that age? He tried to avoid the question, but I persisted. He said it didn't matter because we were already together. Edit. Decided to take another look at the earrings. I missed an important detail. They are heart earrings. I'm a 28-year-old male. My wife is 27 years old. We've been married for 2 years. She is currently between 6 and 7 months pregnant. As of now, I can safely say that marrying her was the worst decision of my life. I do not like my life. I do not enjoy my life. I hate my life, and I think I hate my wife. She has made my life miserable in unimaginable ways. Before we got married, we used to argue sometimes, very infrequently, but we normally peacefully resolved the arguments, and were open to communication and compromise. I still loved her very much then. Once we got married, the arguments started becoming more and more frequent, but we still largely resolved them amicably. It reached the point where often she would start an argument, and I would just sit it out, not argue or contest anything, apologize if necessary, until she calmed down. It wasn't fun, but it allowed me to avoid getting into the heat of arguments and fights, and it prevented them from escalating. When we found out she was pregnant, we were overjoyed. We had always wanted children, and I thought this would be the greatest thing for our marriage, and it would finally turn things around. Things started going downhill steeply since then. My wife has become an intolerable person. She shouts, she throws a fit over the smallest thing. If one thing is out of place, if I am slightly late on washing the dishes, or if a single dish is not properly cleaned, she will raise hell on me. If I say one thing wrong, or one thing that slightly upsets her, she will raise a storm. If I sit down to watch TV or play games, she will raise a storm. When she gets like this, she cannot be reasoned with. She cannot be talked to. I can't even try to calm her down. It just makes her worse. At times, things have gotten physical. I consider this to be very severe physical, emotional, and mental. I feel as if she has drained all happiness and joy out of me. I do not feel happy when I see her anymore. I do not feel the joy and love that I used to feel towards her. Now, I see her as someone to avoid. Someone I know will shout at me and make my life miserable. Sometimes it's not even something that I do. Sometimes she will just be feeling unhappy and pick an argument over nothing, and keep it going until it turns into a fight with her shouting at me. This has been going on since at least the beginning of the pregnancy, and if I had to be honest, the signs were there before. I regret marrying her so much. She is not the woman I loved. If I had to be absolutely truthful, I would say, no, I no longer feel any love towards this woman, my wife, who is carrying our baby. I said things have gotten physical. They have. One time she threw a fork at me. It hit me on the face a few inches below the eye and caused a sharp scratch. I had to lie and tell everyone it was due to an accident. The only people that know it was because she threw a fork at me are me and her. Honestly, I've become fearful of her. I have taken to avoiding her. I've started spending much of my time at my parents' house because I cannot stand to be around her. She drives me crazy and makes me scared. A few times I even spent the night at my parents' house. At one incident, I drove there in the middle of the night because she was raising such a furore I could not be in the same house as her. A bit about her mental history. Yes, I know all about pregnancy hormones. Yes, I know there can be depression during pregnancy, and sometimes pregnant women can behave strangely. The thing is, I can't even bring this up with her. If I dare to suggest seeing a psychiatrist or therapist about her behavior, she will go nuts at me for suggesting that she is crazy, or suggesting she is in the wrong. She will go nuts because how dare I suggest anything other than it's all my fault, and she's not to blame. She will go nuts. She has a history of depression. I know she took meds in her teenage years, but stopped in her early 20s. She didn't have much of a problem with it since then, and she stated herself she believes the meds never helped, and she doesn't like psychiatry all too much. She doesn't want any medical intervention or any therapy. At this point, I don't even want therapy. Not that she's open to it. I feel it's past that point. I can't live like this anymore. I want out. I have no idea how to approach it. I'm scared of her. If I tell her frankly what I'm feeling, that I want to end this marriage and I want a divorce, how will she react? What if she throws something at me again? What if she attacks me again, tries to hurt me, or hurt herself? She is carrying an unborn child. What if she tries to hurt the child? I have no idea what will become of our child. Its future already compromised before it's even born. And A is out of the question because where we live, it's illegal past 20 weeks. I'm scared. I'm frustrated. I feel no love towards this woman at all. Only fear and loathing. I want to get out as soon as I can. Cut my losses, whatever they may be. If I have to pay child support forever, I will take that if it means I can have a normal life otherwise. Frankly, I'm even considering involving child protection services to see if it is even safe to leave the child with her once he is born. You need to document every single instance of physical aid from her. Call the cops every time. This will be huge in getting custody of your child. This is such a tough situation. Have you Googled pregnancy psychosis? Though rare, it is so very dangerous, and her OBGYN should be alerted to her behavior immediately. She could be a danger, probably already is, to herself and the baby. You can already see that she is a danger to you. Call her doctor or accompany her to the next appointment. While she is changing, you can mention this to the doctor. They will take action on it. Please continue to protect yourself. Document everything. And if she has never been like this before, then please wait until she has the baby to see what happens to her mental state. I can't blame you for feeling like you do. Your hands are kind of tied, and you are just trying to make it through. And look down.